Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission. It is being held at the Commissioners' Meeting Room in the Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Room 250, Cortez, Colorado. We're going to open with a Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Don, can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Neergaard. Here. Commissioner Lynch.
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong.
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Also present is Don Haley and Jane Duncan from the County Planning Department. Absent is Haley Saunders. Please silence your cell phones during the meeting. Important calls can be taken outside of the meeting room. The Planning and Zoning Board did not meet for the month of July due to not having any applications for review. But have the commissioners looked and reviewed the June minutes?
Yes.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve or disapprove.
I'll make a motion to approve the planning and zoning minutes for June 13th, 2024. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Armstrong and seconded by Commissioner Neergaard. Can we have a vote?
Commissioner Hernandez.
Aye.
Commissioner Neergaard.
Aye.
Commissioner Lynch.
Aye.
Commissioner Armstrong.
Aye.
Commissioner Doyle.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is carried and the motion was unanimous. The Montezuma County Planning Commission welcomes you to this meeting. The board is comprised of members who are tasked to make recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners. We are not the decision makers. We encourage public comment after each permit. Persons speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced at the discretion of the Planning Commission to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address their thoughts and concerns. When addressing the commissioners, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual applicants are not permitted. Participants may not yield their time to others. I will be voting tonight. We have roll call done.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Neergaard.
Here.
Commissioner Lynch.
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong.
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Okay. Number 1. Notice is hereby given the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public meeting for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a proposed 2-lot minor subdivision, an AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Calvin Gremmert on property located at 38090 Road L.4 in Mancos, consisting of 35 acres more or less, located west of Road 38.5, south of Highway 184, situated in Section 13, Township 36 North, Range 14 west of the New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir.
Were evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir.
Okay, was a sign posted?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can we have, oh, he's already down. I like that. Okay, can we have planning department findings, Jane?
Sure. Mr. Gremmert is proposing to create one 3-acre parcel and one 32-acre parcel, resulting in a 2-lot minor subdivision. He plans on putting a home on the 3-acre parcel for his daughter's family. The surrounding properties consist of agricultural and residential uses, with several subdivisions in the immediate area. The driveway access will be off of a non-county maintained road, Road L.4. The applicant is proposing to extend his driveway from his house to the new parcel. He already has utilities and infrastructure to his house, and it's just going to be extended to his daughter's property.
Okay, thank you. Planning commissioners, discussion? Comments?
I have a couple questions.
Go.
On the plot that I see, it looks like there's two buildings there. Are each of those buildings a separate residence?
One is a garage with a small apartment on the side of it.
And so that's the reason for the two septics? One serves the home and one serves the,
Correct.
okay. And then for the extended driveway, I'm imagining that at some point in the future, I don't know when, but at some point in the future, someone different is going to own one of these two properties and maybe both, probably both even farther in the future. Is there going to be a dedicated easement for access and utilities from L.4 to the 3.1 acre parcel?
I haven't done anything as far as dedicating one at this time. I guess if that's something that needs to be done, certainly can be done.
Okay, those are all the questions.
And those are the same questions I had. And yes, I believe you're going to need an easement to that 3 acres because it is a separate parcel. Whether today belongs to your daughter, tomorrow it may belong to who knows. So there has to be an easement from L4, your property line, to that parcel. Okay, so that'll be one of the conditions.
The question is your daughter going to own the 3.1 acres?
It will stay in the family trust.
Are there plans, specific plans for development yet?
Not specific, but we're working on probably a modular on a foundation, because that's kind of the direction we're heading.
Okay, and the utilities are there. You have electric at the house, which can be extended to that 3 acres. How about the water?
The water is there also. I've talked to both Empire Electric and Montezuma, and I intend on putting an additional meter in and an additional transformer.
Okay, so it'll have its own meter. Okay. Okay.
And Montezuma Water Company did tell me that they do have water available for 2 residential structures for this new lot. If they plan on putting in 2, but they do definitely have 2.
Okay. Okay, we have any public comment on this application? Okay, seeing none, then we're going to close it. Can bring it back to the commissioners for a recommendation or denial.
I'll make a motion to the commissioners to approve a proposed 2 minor lot subdivision in AR 3 through 9 and AR 10 through 34 rezoning applications submitted by Calvin Gremmert based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other properties in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning. The conditions I have is that an easement be listed to go to the 3.1 acre lot. And that's it.
Okay. Easement.
I would second that.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. We call for a vote, Don?
Commissioner Hernandez.
Aye.
Commissioner Niergaard,
Aye.
Commissioner Lynch,
Aye.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Aye.
Commissioner Doyle.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried, and the vote was unanimous. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you.
Okay. That mean I can go now?
Okay. Okay, roll call, Don.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Niergaard,
Here.
Commissioner Lynch,
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Okay. There it is. Okay, number 2. Notice is hereby given, the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purposes of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the county, to the Board of County Commissioners, regarding proposed single lot development and AR 10-34 and AR 35 rezoning applications submitted by Dwight Chamberlain, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located to be determined Road G, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 65 acres more or less, located west of Road 21, north of Road G, situated in Section 1, Township 35 North, Range 17 west of the New Mexico Prime Meridian. Okay, this is a public hearing, was the public notice published?
Yes, sir?
Was evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir?
Was a sign posted?
Yes, sir?
Oh, and the applicant's here. I like it. Great. Okay, can we have findings, Jane?
Yes, Mr. Chamberlain desires to split the subject property into 2 parcels. One parcel will remain over 35 acres, and the newly created parcel will be 27 to 29 acres. The applicant would desire to market both properties for residential use. The surrounding properties consist of agricultural and residential uses, along with Canyon of Ancients Monument to the north, BIA lands to the southwest, and BLM lands to the south and east. There currently is no residences on this property. The access is off of Road G. There is an existing easement that runs along the southern property line. There is water and electricity
Must be this,
available
yeah.
along the north side of Road G. And so as it is vacant, there is no septic or anything like that on the property.
Okay. You have anything to add to that?
She hit the nail on the head.
Okay, good.
Address any questions.
Cool. Any discussion on this?
Yeah, I was kind of confused by the application because the parcel that we're looking at is approximately 65 acres, but the current zoning is agricultural 80+. And I don't understand why that would be for 65 acres.
Why that zoning is that way, I'm not too sure either, because this has been a 65-acre parcel for quite some time. But why is it specifically zoned like that? I'm not sure. It has been basically agricultural use for quite some time, but I don't know why it's zoned that way.
So from the drawing that was supplied, it looks like this parcel might have adjoined the other parcel with the same, is that under the same name? And maybe that had been included to get the 80+ in the past, and it just wasn't properly changed when 1 or 2/3 of it was developed or taken out of the whole thing.
Either the current Chamberlain property where their home is, or even potentially that could apply to the land to the north of the proposed subdivision.
Okay, but in terms of this particular application, the boundary lines that we're talking about are just the two subject pieces of 29.26 acres and 35.74 acres. That's the
Correct.
parcel.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, more than likely, it included the parcel to the
Chamberlain.
west.
Yeah.
But when they split that off, because it's over 35, it doesn't go through the planning office. So nobody ever rezones anything.
There's no other zoning for over 35, then?
There's
80,
AR
80.
35+ and there's A 80+, but because it doesn't go through planning, nobody ever applies
Oh,
for
that's
a
right.
zoning
It's 35.
application.
Yep.
It's-
Yep.
It's
Okay.
basically ag land, so
Yeah, yeah, they don't have.
big ag land or medium-sized ag land, it's kind of all the same.
Okay. Okay, anything else? I have a question. The easement that's been shown, that goes through subject property 1 and subject property 2, the 30-foot dedicated easement, is that for Chamberlain?
That is for Chamberlain.
Okay.
And so what Mr. Chamberlain as the applicant, we plan on, once we get further along in the process, we'll be recording covenants specific to this subdivision that will also deal with the use of that easement to ensure includes access to both lots 1 and 2, and the relationship of the parties in maintaining that easement.
Okay. Okay, well, he can get to the property, so can subject 2, all right. Anything else? Okay, we're going to open it up for public comment then. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application? Okay, seeing none, then we will close it, bring it back to the commissioners for any other discussion.
When I see the BLM is notified, it's part of the notification on this because it's directly adjoined. But of course, the application's referencing BIA property as well. Do they get notified, or they're not bothered to be notified?
If it does not touch the property, then they don't get a notification.
You would have to see the signage to have any knowledge of this happening.
Correct. Since they weren't directly touching, we did not notify them.
They're not adjoining.
They're not adjoining.
So
Okay, yeah.
only BLM is.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to approve a proposed single lot development in AR 10 34 and AR 35 plus rezoning application submitted by Dwight Chamberlain, agent Keenen Lovett, based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, the only condition I would put on this is that the new owners to be notified of the land use code, that the county has such.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the motion was seconded by Commissioner Lynch. No further discussion. Can we have roll call on?
Commissioner Hernandez.
Aye.
Commissioner Neergard.
Aye.
Commissioner Lynch.
Aye.
Commissioner Armstrong.
Aye.
Commissioner Doyle.
Okay, the motion carried. It was unanimous. Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, can we have roll call, Don?
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Commissioner Neergard.
Here.
Commissioner Lynch.
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong.
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Okay, number 3, notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a proposed amendment to the Adair Cluster Initiative Planned Unit Development and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Kenneth and Julie Derrick on properties located at 19424 Highway 491 and to be determined Road V3, Lewis, Colorado, consisting of 28.65 acres and 3.05 acres more or less, both located east of Highway 491, north of Road V, situated in Section 6, Township 37 North, Range 16 West of the New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir.
Was evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir.
Was the sign posted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, everybody's on the ball. I like it. Okay, can we have planning department findings?
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Derrick proposed to amend the Adair Estate Cluster Incentive Plan Unit Development in order to create a common lot line change between lots 1 and 3, resulting in 5 plus or minus acres surrounding the existing residence, which will become lot 3. The current lot 3 will be tie-barred into lot 1 in order to maintain the necessary open space percentage requirement as stated in section 4102 of the land use code. The surrounding properties consist of agricultural and residential uses. The Sunnyside Estates major subdivision is to the north. Both properties are accessed utilizing Road B3. Lot 1, the 19424 Highway 491 will need to be readdressed in order to reflect the actual location of the driveway access. There is a recorded 60-foot access easement, which is B.3 road, that is also utilized by the property to the east. Utilities are, utility infrastructure is already present with the present residents, and so everything else is in place.
Okay. You have anything to add to that? No? Okay. Commissioners, questions, comments?
I'm just curious for an explanation of the term tie-bar. Tie-barred.
Tie-barred.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you
Good
have an
one.
explanation for that? It's in your application. What does that mean?
We don't know what that means.
Don?
It just means the piece of the property will be tied to the other piece of the property
Okay.
and not a standalone lot.
It will be melted into the other piece.
So when you break up the east 2/3 of Lot 3, it reverts back to Lot 1. It doesn't stand alone. Same with the west 1/3. It will revert to this property.
Okay.
Okay.
So the 4.25 acres will have that little sliver off of Lot 3,
Yeah.
right? And that still remains a 3.5 acre parcel, Lot 3, right?
It'll actually go to 4.25 acres.
Yeah, but Lot 3.
Lot 3 goes
Is
into
Lot 3, oh,
Lot,
it's going to be attached to the 26?
Yep.
To
the house becomes Lot 3, and the southeast corner goes into the rest of the property.
That goes back to lot 1 then?
Correct.
Lot 1 and Lot 3 are going to be owned and adjoined together?
No, lot 1 and lot 3 will become the same. They'll be put together, and then the new lot will be 4.25. That's what we want to get done.
Okay.
Adjust the line so that we have what we want.
And because the remainder of Lot 3 has to go into Lot 1 in order to maintain the open space requirement
Okay,
as according to the land use code.
so we're
That piece in the corner.
3.5 acres.
Yeah.
Lot
Okay,
one.
so we're really going to end up with just two lots,
Yeah.
Lot 1 and Lot 1 and then the 4.25.
So are the setbacks
That's what
maintained on
surveyors call
these
it.
Yeah, those,
existing structures where you're drawing the new boundary?
that was the question that I actually had too. The structures that are there on 4.25, do they meet the setback requirements?
They do, we'll have a survey as soon as we have to go through the hoops, but they, at this point, looking at the map, she said that they do, so.
Okay.
It's close, but it was,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Close on the too close side or close on the there's plenty enough side?
close on it, it's close, but I don't know if it's too close until we get
Yeah.
somebody out there to look, so.
Just out of curiosity, why are you doing this?
Well, we've had a nephew this is a grandparent's place, and he's expressed an interest in possibly in the future wanting to purchase their place. And so we are trying to get our loose ends caught up. If nothing ever happens, then nothing ever happens, and then we make one piece. But if he does do that, then this is already done.
Okay, I guess we can make that a condition,
Yeah.
that the setbacks have to be made.
A survey
Right.
showing the setbacks.
Okay, that's, any other comments, discussion? Okay, we're going to open this to public comment. Anyone wishing to speak in favor or against this, come to the podium.
Over here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you saw.
Yeah, I saw it here.
Sorry.
Here.
Yeah,
State your name first, the resident and address.
Kenneth Thompson.
Address?
Our address is 20991 County Road U, Cortez.
Okay. Go ahead.
The, this V.3 that was mentioned in here is actually my private land.
We own that driveway, and there is no recorded easement that we know of for your house.
Please talk to the,
I'm sorry.
I'm the one that owns the remaining Adair estate,
Okay,
and you can see on the bottom of it there where it shows, I'm presuming that line, that darkened line
Right.
is the access.
Okay.
And that's deeded property.
okay,
I don't know
so,
what else to call it.
Right. We have given a recorded easement to some property we sold on the south side of ours, but that's the only easement
So it's like a flag
that's
lot.
recorded that we
Yeah.
know of.
So in this drawing, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that you own the easement that is highlighted in yellow? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes, that's
Down-
our deeded property.
And this, it looks like this plat is showing that, well, it doesn't show where the easement stops, I guess. So that easement goes all the way to the corner, the southeast corner of these lots? Is that what
Well,
you're
it's-
saying?
Yeah, somebody put up a sign there recently that says V.3, and it goes clear to that sign.
We have no
I'm
idea.
presuming the county put that in there, but,
So do we know it's a red road or not, Don?
It's a red road.
It's a
I'm
red
just
road.
curious which
red-
properties
yeah,
are
red
theirs.
sign.
Say again, sir?
Can we show this map so we can see which property are theirs?
Number 8,
8?
is that correct? You're number 8 on that?
Yeah, there it is. So it is a flag lot.
Yes.
It is a flag. So that's actually not it could be a dedicated easement, as that showed in the previous picture, to the parcel or to the applicant right now.
It's always been the access that they've used
Yes.
Okay.
forever, I guess.
They've always had that
There
access.
could be a deeded easement on their deeds. When Adair's created this, it could have been a deeded easement that is expressed on the deeds of these properties.
It actually
To-
is, well, it's part of our 41 point whatever
And
acres.
if the deed says
And-
non-exclusive, then the Derricks can use that. It's non-exclusive for anyone
Mm-hmm.
that's.
If it's a non-exclusive
I have
easement.
with the recorded easement,
Or
or the
the
recorded description of that road.
Of the whole lot, yeah.
If it is a non-exclusive easement, then any lots created on the property in question from Mr. Derrick, then they can use that easement if it's non-exclusive. If it is exclusive, then it can only be used by them.
I don't think the word
I
easement
don't know, I
was
would
even
not know
used.
where you'd look that up. I mean,
Well, it would be in the easement, the actual language in the document.
It was not ever stated as an easement for us. It was just stated as our deeded
Well, it
land.
is your property.
Yes.
It is your fee property, like you
This,
said.
Yeah.
this document, this exhibit does not show anything that states that, anything about an easement.
No. It was
So
not.
what-
It talks about BLM monuments. But that's-
60-foot
that's a
right-of-way,
cornerstone.
part of
So
remaining property.
Historically, the access that they've used on, was now V3, or there's a sign
Right.
that says V3,
I'm sure,
it goes to that driveway.
I'm sure 40,
For the
50 years.
benefit of lots 1 and
Right,
3.
that's-
Yeah.
Longer, right.
That small
So
strip.
if they
that goes
create
back
this
up the
thing-
road is actually your property.
Well,
Yeah.
this would become.
It'd become 3.
Accesses.
Okay.
We
And
would have to-
is that
we would
your
have to
access to
see-
your property as well?
The 35 acres back here, this is remaining Adair estate.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
We would have to see what
Be curious to see the
Kenneth
easement.
and Julie's deed says as well.
See what it says. But according to this, it's for the benefit of lot 1 and 3, and lot 3 is gonna still be lot 3, but it's gonna expand. It's gonna change, just put it that way.
We actually bought this out of the Adair estate
Yeah.
about 20-some years, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
As the,
Okay, so. no-
just out of clarification for me, is that, don't shrink that, I can't read it anymore. As the owner of the remaining Adair estate, owners of the remaining Adair estate, are you objecting to further access or access further closer to your property? Is that-
Well,
is that what we're
you know,
hearing?
obviously, I wouldn't want a subdivision going in there.
Well, all they're doing is they're not adding any houses, they're not adding anything, they're actually
It
just
was
changing.
proposed that somebody's probably going to build there someday.
But that's not what we're looking at right now.
Well, okay.
Right.
So this is the recorded plat of the subdivision, I mean of the CIPUD that has this language on it. It's platted and recorded April of 2002, reception number 503756,
What do the notes say?
which is the same.
Can you go back to the notes real quick?
And this is for the benefit of lots 1 and 3.
And
So-
it says access and utility easement is granted.
Right,
But they are correct, it is their property, there's just an easement on it.
right. So, I mean, in the future, if Lot 1, the remaining 26 acres ever became a subdivision, split, whatever, that access couldn't come off of that road.
It will?
It can't,
Can't.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
unless that easement is rewritten for that property. So,
Yeah, this is
duly
showing-
noted.
This is showing the easement.
Could
This
you,
is lot
do you
one.
mind restating that, just so
Well,
If-
this is
like
going to
follow-
be
if the
3.71,
28.65
nothing's
acres
changing.
ever
Yeah,
was
no, that's what
developed
I'm
and
saying.
split,
This easement
became a
right here
subdivision,
is basically
this
stating
easement is
they
only
can
for
only be used for
lot
1 and
1 and 3.
So no one can
And they wanna redefine it.
Can have to be redefined.
No.
Yeah.
And they really couldn't because, in order to have a cluster incentive PUD, it has to have a certain percentage of open space. So this cannot ever change.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would suppose that the county was willing to take on this road and maintain it. We might be a little bit more lenient here.
Who decided to name it the?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that
I'll
one.
bet on that one,
I
yeah.
bet you would.
Probably 3 chances of that, slim, fat, and none.
I see.
I know how those go, yeah.
Why was it even named,
You
that
have to talk to
driveway?
the GIS department, we don't deal with
That
that.
one.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, because this D.3 sign just went up within the last few months or something.
Well, we don't even know when.
Now, the GIS department, puts up signs and stuff on the road.
Do they not inform the people who
We
own it?
don't know, you'll have to talk to
Yeah.
them. Sorry.
Totally different arm of the county.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Different department, sorry.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
noted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Easement is for lots 1 and 3 only. Okay. Okay, we have any other discussion?
You're still
Good.
in public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, any further comment from anyone? Okay, seeing none, we're gonna close that, bring it back to the commissioners for discussion or motion.
All right, I guess I'll do it. I'll make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to approve a proposed amendment to the Adair Clustered Incentive Planned Unit Development in AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Kenneth and Judy Garrett based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning.
And
No conditions.
I would like to add the condition that the new boundary line honor the setbacks.
Of 4.25.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Motion, we have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Call for vote.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Newgard,
Aye.
Commissioner Lynch,
Aye.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Aye.
Commissioner Doyle.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. It was unanimous. Good luck.
Thank you.
Setbacks. Okay. Okay, we have roll call, Don.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Newgard,
Here.
Commissioner Lynch,
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Okay, number 4. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding proposed general plan unit development application submitted by Daniel Quigley on property located at 29554 Road N, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 40 acres more or less, located east of Road 29, north of Road M, situated in Section 9, Township 36 North, Range 15 west of the New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was the public notice published?
Yes, sir.
Was evidence of the letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir.
Was a sign posted?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, we're working. Planning Department, findings, please.
Sure. Mr. Quigley is proposing to do a general planned unit development for a dry campground. It's only going to consist of 8 spaces. It will be dark sky, and he has already spoken with the Cortez Fire Chief, Troy Wilkinson. He says that the current driveway, which was constructed in 1977, which also has a residence on it, and for the purpose of the camping area located at the southern property line, the interior road easement has been deemed adequate for EMS and fire protection vehicles. All the infrastructure is already in, and that's about it. The Wildfire Adaptive Partnership did say that if he was ever going to have campfires, which he has stated that they will not be allowed. The parcel has dense juniper and pinyon fuels and borders the BLM property, and has a cliffside draw to the east of the property that would act as a fire chimney. A ingress-egress emergency lane would be needed. Mr. Quigley has stated to me that on the west side of his property line, there is a dirt road access that can be used for emergency egress, and that should be satisfactory to Wildfire Adaptive Partnership.
Okay. Okay, anything to add to that?
No, thank you very much for your description.
Okay, discussion?
Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions, discussions?
I mean, I think it's nice to hear that we're gonna have, the rule be no open fires today, but, I mean, I think any approval of this, I'd love to see a provision that says that it's mandated that there be no open fires there. It seems to me, when reading this, it's too potentially dangerous.
Right. Agreed.
Um,
And, you know, I mean, I'm with you there.
I mean, you read what this, the fire people say, it doesn't sound, certainly not
How is,
worries here. How many porta-johns are you gonna be putting up there?
Two, based on the amount of people that will be at the property in any one given time. If we need more than that, I have a relationship with LePew that they
Have you
can
had-
bring John's.
How many
if
people
needed.
would be occupying 8 campsites?
Maximum of 32.
How many?
32,
four per site then?
but we have not come anywhere near close.
Eight sites, 32
Yeah.
people max, And you live on this property?
I do. My wife
So
and I live on the property.
you would be the monitors to make sure that there's no tricky fire guys starting?
Yes,
Okay,
I am the camp host.
okay.
And how many round trips per day are you estimating for the property?
Under the high use standards, it would be underneath that 15 round trips per day.
Excuse me.
So for the most part, once people are at the campsite, they're participating in activities. They don't need to leave the property. They're pretty much there, like, well, with friends and in the wake of COVID, and a lot of people just, they come and they stay, and, you know, they're very quiet. We found that, you know, the folks that are coming are very, very respectful of our values in the application being, you know, leave no trace. We've adopted leave no trace, which is adopted by the National Forest Services. Our expectation of our visitors that they carry, pack it in, pack it out. We don't supply receptacles for trash, and we have not had any problem with that. And yeah, they're pretty self-sustaining folks when they come. A lot of folks are folks that are coming for mountain bike instruction of some shape or form.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, this is an after-the-fact application? In other words, it's already in place and you're filing this to come into compliance with the land use code?
When we initially bought the property, we did a fire mitigation of that southern end of the property on the map, where we removed all dead standing fuel as well as ground fuels off of that area. And the road, when Celeste from Wildfire Adaptive came, we talked about that road being a fire break for the canyon. And she said it was adequate, but she did note certain areas of the canopy that could additionally be widened, which I've begun to do. But for friends and for private clients, that a lot of my clients come from out of our community. And I welcome them to stay at no charge. But that started getting us to wonder, well, is there a need here for just primitive dark sky camping? So we did a beta test of sorts in the spring, and asked a lot of people coming to the community that there was a need, and that was kind of what garnered our interest in saying, well, we have a piece of land we'd like to do something with, because only a small sliver of our land is really agriculturally useful. But we do have an area of the land that complements what I do professionally, which is why we've kind of come to the consensus that we'd like to do this, but we also want to do it the right way, which is why I'm in front of you all.
So when did you buy the property?
We bought the property 4 years ago, May.
And when was the campground sites, when were the campground sites installed?
I did some clearing last, I think, back, it was last time in July. I started just doing clearing for my own instruction. And then there was that road that was existing back there. When I got rid of all those fuels, I just started making places for people to park when they came to do instruction with me. And from there, I just left it.
How did you get rid of the fuel? How did you get rid of the fuel?
Burned most of them. Burned all of them. All of the dead juniper and pinyon
Okay.
got burned per the calling dispatch and asking for permissions of burns and conditions. Yeah, there was a lot of burning. There was a lot of fuels out there.
Okay, your potable water is going to be a buffalo or a,
It's a
Tank of some
a
sort?
yard hydrant that
oh,
services a bike wash station, and
Okay.
rinse station, and it is potable water. I ask people to keep their consumption down, you know. Don't want them filling up extensive amounts of water. They're pretty good about that, but I like to provide it for hydration and rinsing, and that
Okay.
sort of thing.
Your application states that the applicants indicated no further plan at this time for development.
No.
What could change that?
Say again?
What could change that?
Um,
What would change that?
I don't envision anything.
A new
Our-
owner, maybe?
I'm sorry?
A different owner if you were to sell the property?
I don't know that, we have no intention of selling the property, but I appreciate the question. I don't really have an answer for that, but it's, currently, I don't envision any changes because of our values of the
Okay, I
dark
got it.
sky and minimal impacts on the landscape and the environment around it.
Ringleberg.
We really don't have interest in doing any sort
Right.
of infrastructural building.
I don't want to sound like a cynic, but we often hear that.
You do?
Yeah, no further
Okay.
plans, and then
Yeah.
a few months
And then
later, we
something
may see
happens.
new plans.
Right.
So,
And I'd be happy to have that be a mandate, that wouldn't happen.
That would be part of the planned unit development. If you intend to expand it beyond the permitted use, you have to amend it
Yeah.
through this process.
Yeah.
if it's locked in as, you know, this
This.
rudimentary type of camping, no fires, et cetera, okay.
Yeah, so this becomes part of the planned unit development.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, we're going to open it up for public comment. Those wishing to speak, come to the podium, please. State your name and address. Seeing none, okay, we'll bring it back to the commissioners for a recommendation.
I've got some concerns. I like your project. I don't have any concerns about your project. I would actually like to see this go through. My concerns are with the application, not with your idea. So don't take this the wrong way.
Okay.
So, under the special use permit section 3102 Part B list, campgrounds are not in that list. And so I do not believe that campgrounds fall under the special use permit. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the permit we're looking at. Actually, they're listed under high impact. In 2101.4 definition, high impact development, bullet number 3, proposed projects involving outdoor recreation facilities, campgrounds, and RV parks and mobile home parks. So based on what I'm reading here, there should be a high impact permit and not a special use permit. So that's my concern about it.
So point of clarity, so the campground's going to be open for anybody, not just people that are using the bike ranch for your services?
To date, it's been people that are using my services.
Yeah.
I would like to open it up.
Okay.
given The growing, need for our recreational outdoor visitors needing places to stay around the area. So that is my hope and intention, yes.
Okay.
So with that said, then you could have 32 campers there, and 32, again, people that just come to the instructional part of it?
Oh, meaning more than 32?
Right,
No,
okay.
No.
So your instructional area and for biking is gonna be for the people that are there?
correct.
You're not inviting anybody else in?
No, if I have people staying at the property, they are either there to do instruction with me, or they're there because they want to have, direct access to Phil's World as mountain bikers. That is the target population, is mountain bikers. But the two would not overlap in the sense bringing it over 32 people.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, as long as, again, if you're not opening it to the public per se, it's for the people that are there. The mountain biking instructions. Yeah, okay. Well, then, Don, do we have?
What we approved is to lock that down, right? I mean, it's not just, yeah, that's right, and maybe 4 months later, it's not right. But I think what John's point in terms of the high impact is well taken.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just being used by the people that are accessing the services that this gentleman provides, I'd lean towards calling it a guest ranch or a retreat. But if it's just open to the general public, it does feel a little bit like a campground.
I agree.
Right.
I mean, the property was sold 4 years ago, it could be sold 4 years from now. We want it open up to,
Mm-hmm.
broader uses.
Right, and with the special use permit then, which this is,
So the special use permit's required for any planned unit development.
okay. But the fallback on that, if this gentleman does open it up to the general public, and now we have 80 people there in a training session, then what is the county's remedy for that?
Well,
Where
then,
was-
then he's exceeding threshold standards and definitely has to have a high impact permit.
Okay,
Same as if he tried to have eight campsites with 2 cars each and people coming to class.
okay, so
I mean-
the threshold is our barrier. They cannot exceed that. Okay.
And if he tries to add more campsites, or if he tries to add utilities to the campsites, would require an amendment to anything that's approved currently.
Okay, and then would that trigger the high impact?
Yes.
Okay, it would trigger that,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Did you follow that, Mike?
I did, but I still have the same concerns.
Okay. Okay, if we have no further discussion, we could entertain a motion. We would do that. Anyone? Or do we want to discuss it further?
Thinking about it.
Okay, I mean, and Mike's point is that the project is not the problem, it's the procedure that we're following is the problem.
And I just,
Whether it's a special permit or high impact.
it sounds like when I heard Commissioner Lip saying, when he was reading right from the land use code, that it made sense that it would be high impact. I mean, I thought his point was well taken. recommending other than what it ought to be.
Mhm. So it's because in the permit, the special permit, the word campground is not one of the items.
But I just don't know what the procedure
I beg your pardon?
is.
That's the problem. The campground is not listed as one of the items for a special permit.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it doesn't list one of the items for any planned unit for development. At the bottom of that list of uses, it requires a special use permit for PUDs.
And this is PUD,
Right.
Correct.
planned urban
A
development.
general
Land
planned
impact.
unit development.
I mean, campgrounds are noted under high impact though, specifically. Outdoor recreation facilities, campgrounds.
So every PUD requires a special use permit, not to meet a line item, but to meet the code of requiring one with a PUD.
And a high impact permit is required whenever you exceed the threshold standards in any item of the 33 items.
So you'd have to, with the camping area, the discussion I had with Mr. Quigley was that was people that would stay during the classes, training, weekend, whatever. So I guess the distinction is rather that's part of the retreat operation. If you open it up to non-bicycle, just open camping, then that may lead to a different definition.
Yeah. That's where I was stuck at.
So,
Okay.
on the additional information that was provided, it's a Zuma Bike Ranch project plan. The project plan for Zuma Bike Ranch is to provide low-impact, austere, and quiet camping accommodations for people visiting Montezuma County. Now, there's a target market. Our target market is outdoor recreation enthusiasts and Zuma Ride Academy customers looking for simple tent van camping in close proximity to local trail networks. So the target market is not just the academy customers, it is also recreation enthusiasts, which to me includes the public.
Yep.
Right.
And,
Yep.
and granted, I saw the place in the special use permit where it does have that, but for me, that raises confusion over how to apply the land use code when I read specifically in the high impact permit that campgrounds are included in that list, and that over in the SUP, it's not part of the specific list, but it's in a catch-all at the bottom, and so it's confusing to me, and I can't, since I have to recommend based on what I read, that's a concern. I have to
Right.
say.
I was just letting you know, every PUD has a special use permit. It doesn't always line up with one of the 14 items. It's just a requirement.
Which is also a concern for me. So, yeah, hopefully.
So, I mean, it's the distinction of how the camping is addressed and used.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can put a condition on, if we make an approval, the condition would be that it is not open to the public, it is for recreational bikers only.
Yeah, that's always been our intention, is that our target market is the mountain biking community.
Mhm.
We have not had anyone that is not part of that community. And there are other places within the region from Highway 160 and up that offer great accommodations for people who have RVs and people who have, are in pursuit of more the glamping opportunities,
Mhm.
whereas we are very interested in just providing a very simple and quiet operation that does operate well within the high use thresholds.
So you're saying
That's
that
our hope.
if somebody just comes and they're not part of the biking community, they can't camp there?
I'm not, no, my hope is that I would like to offer
Sure.
camping to people that
I'm in the mountain bike, I'm in the outdoor industry, I'm in the cycling industry, so I have a lot of connections, a lot of people know what Zuma Ride Academy is, know what Zuma Bike Ranch is, and they like to come, whether it's to work with me directly, but it has identified that there is a need there at the Phil's World Trail Network to have some basic camping. So if it were permissible, and it is within the PUD standards, as well as the current application answers to the high use thresholds and not exceeding it, I would love to offer that. On the contingency that I'm happy that it's written in the plan that in no way, shape, or form we exceed that, because my wife and I don't want that either. But I appreciate your concerns at the same time.
So, for my understanding, I think what I heard you say is that you have a target market, and it's the bike world, the recreational bike world. But if someone who is outside of that target market wants to come and stay at this particular campground, that's something you want to allow as well. Is that correct?
I would definitely be open to that within the restrictions that I've provided. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone in any large vehicles.
Right.
I'm not interested in people who want fires.
Yeah.
It's a very particular market, and I would have total control over that.
Sure.
Within the reservation process.
Well, one way or the other, gentlemen. If you're uncomfortable with it, then you can certainly deny it.
I'm waiting for John to make a motion.
I'm John. I won't make those, Mike.
And I might point out, I'm sure you guys all know, but I don't think it matters whether someone moves to approve or moves to disapprove. The vote is going to tell
That's
the
right.
answer. So
Yeah.
I don't think it matters what side.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, I'm with you, I like the idea. I mean,
Same.
that's not the issue, what we're looking at, yeah. What would be the alternative, Don? I mean, that's all this thing could fit in, is the
So-
PUD, right?
Right, so the question lies on the open camping or customer camping, to me,
Yeah.
versus it's part of the retreat of the biking classes. He's got his own course there, training, whatever you want to call it, stay there, go through that, work with him, versus just car campers showing up. I don't know what the likelihood of that is, because it's not really on a beaten path unless you're looking to go mountain bike riding. But, so you could recommend it for denial. He could come back with a high impact permit to go with the PUD and the special use permit.
And it would open it to
To encompass any open
space.
camping visitors through the high impact permit.
And of course, the threshold comes up too then.
Not automatically.
trips.
If the application on the high impact permit does not include exceeding anything, then you still don't exceed any threshold standards. It just encompasses the campground aspect by being open to the public versus the retreat of the biking, training, staying community.
Okay. You following that?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of this is new to me.
Right, so
Wow.
it gets down to the distinction really of open camping to anybody versus
Right. Well, I
an
guess-
isolated group that's just staying there while they're training, learning on your course, on your techniques, on your property.
Right, and I guess that brings a point of clarification on my end, is that, you know, in my intention of providing this, request for permit is for opening the camping up. Currently, if I have clients that pay me for mountain bike instruction, and I allow them to stay on the land, but I don't charge them anything for that, that is something I've been doing for a while. And I don't think that falls into any sort of permitting so long I'm within those standards. My intention was I wanted to present this to the council, that we have seen that the need has grown to a point where we would like to be the ones that address that need at that level, but within the very simple confines of the model of our camping comparative to other models out there. That makes
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we have basically is your application, and we have a square hole and a round hole.
And a round
And we're trying to put you in one of those.
We're trying to get it
Right,
figured out,
right.
yeah.
We're trying to put you in one of those. Yeah.
So I've given you an interesting little conundrum here. All I could say is that this is something I've been very excited about. In addition to, you know, my company, Zuma Ride Academy, has been established, also doing business at Zuma Bike Ranch for 3 years. And we feel very fortunate to be part of a community and, you know, be a small business in the community. And in a lot of ways, we feel like this is a good thing for our community, and also as well as my involvement in how the recreational tourism in our economy works. So it's something I've been very excited about, but I also want to make sure that it's done right within the confines of what all of you expect.
Okay, so our dilemma is, as it sits right now, again, we have the square and the round hole and a peg that's a triangle, let's put it that way. So if we do deny it, and then Mr. Quigley comes back to us with a high impact, now we're gonna open up that property to much more campers. And is that gonna be something that the neighbors
Right.
will object to? Because right now, there's nobody here objecting to this.
Well,
But he doesn't have to open it up to more campsites.
No, I mean, no, but it
Yeah.
could, but it
Don't
could,
want to.
it could.
He
No.
couldn't if he exceeds the PUD.
Threshold. No.
No, but if it's denied, if we deny it, then his recourse is to come back for a high-impact permit. And
Which
that
would,
will
which would
open-
meet the code for a high-impact permit for a campground versus the retreat.
Correct.
Yep.
But that doesn't give him any rights to expand the campsites unless he amends an approved PUD, even with a high-impact
So
permit.
the PUD is attached to the high-impact, as it sits right now.
Right. The high-impact permit does not give you any excess over the threshold standards unless that is proposed and approved. It's just that the high-impact permit would meet the definition of an open campground versus the retreat of camping while training.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think his intention is to only allow campers that are specifically enrolled in your training program, though. If I
Yeah,
show up there and I don't need the training, I'm an expert mountain biker, I'm
Right.
looking for a place to camp, I got my mountain bike right on the back of my pickup,
Mhm.
you'd welcome me, right?
I would like to welcome that.
Yeah.
But I
Mhm.
also, I will add to that, in this, I guess, trial phase, you know, we didn't want to go forth with this if we didn't feel like it was needed. Is that some people will, you know, say, oh, you offer mountain bike instruction, I definitely want to take you up on that. So I will get that customer that way, which is great, you know, because
Sure.
it's part of how our business model works. And given that we never intended to go beyond those high use standards, or thresholds, I guess I was hopeful that this would fit within the high, or excuse me, the special use permit,
Special use.
because it is not a typical campground.
I mean, if it's limited to 8 sites, 4 people per site, I really don't care what the source of the campers are, personally. I mean,
What they're called.
Yeah, I don't care if they're taking just some
I like that.
mountain biking,
Yeah, it's just that the,
guru or, you know, fan, which there's a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of people driving around with their mountain bikes. I have a lot of friends that do it, younger friends.
I work with a lot of older mountain bikers, so don't sell yourself short.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just seems like
I got a
the,
story I could tell you, but it'd have to be a different time.
it just seems like the land use code is pretty explicit. So,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
one of the other questions I had were round trips per day. And so if we take this path that we're kind of formulating here, and it's denied and you come back with a high impact permit, one of the questions that I would like you to answer is how you come up with the round trips per day for your property. Because I can imagine a situation where possibly all 8 campers don't want to fix meals on site. They want to go into town and eat maybe twice a day and then spend the night there and do their stuff during the day, which could put you over the top on that threshold. And so I'd like to see you give that consideration and come up with an estimated number, whether it's higher than or lower than. I'd like to see how you arrive at that.
Yeah, in my estimation, it's 1 round trip per day per car at most. But highly likely it would not be that amount, is the way that I have, you know, kind of come up with different scenarios of, okay, yeah, like you're just saying, Mike, if everybody were to leave and come back, you know, now you're at 16 versus 15. But I haven't seen that. I don't anticipate this camp zone being full very, very seldomly. I just don't see it. So that's kind of where I've come up with my estimations based on reviewing the code and the current land use. I was mixing
Threshold.
high threshold standards. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, okay.
And even to your point, Mike, even if they did that, if they, you know, they're mountain bikers, so they're gonna not stay on the property all the time. So they're gonna be off riding some trail. Okay, well, that's your exit out, and they have a meal, and they come home. So there's your 1 trip. Yeah. I mean,
And
we
then
can-
they don't have a fire to make dinner, and they may wanna go back
Well, I
into
mean,
town or go to
it's-
Lounging Lizard or wherever.
But what he's saying
That's your second trip.
is open fire, correct? It's open fire, but you can have a camp stove.
Yes.
Okay, camp stove, there's the difference. Yeah. There's the difference there.
Yeah, not
That's an
making
interesting question.
s'mores.
Oh, yeah, not making s'mores, right. And that was what I envisioned when he said no fires, it's open pit fires.
So
You're gonna allow camp stoves.
right now, we don't need to debate a high impact permit because we don't have that.
That's right.
That's true.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay.
What's in front of us is the special use, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we're back to that. A motion one way or the other.
I'll jump in here. I make a motion. Let me get on the right page. Okay, I make a motion to the county commissioners to approve the proposed general plan unit development application submitted by Daniel Quigley based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area. And public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zone.
Are there any conditions to this?
No open fires.
No open fires. We've stated that, but no open
What if
fires.
the conditions be the way he has his plan, the project plan proposed, to where he's stating no open fires on any vehicles?
Follow the ranch plan, project plan?
Follow the ranch plan.
That would cover everything, right?
That's kind of what I'm.
Because it says no open fires, doesn't it?
No open fires.
No open
fire
fires. So
pits
follow, okay.
provided.
So if the Zuma Bike Ranch project plan is followed, that's our conditions.
Conditions.
As written. Which I don't want to modify
Say again?
the plan, the rules as written. So I wouldn't want to.
As written, yeah,
modify.
as presented.
Yes, as presented, that's right.
As
Thank you.
presented.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second to approve the application. No further discussion. Can we call for a vote?
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Neergard,
Aye.
Commissioner Lynch,
Nay.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Aye.
Commissioner Doyle.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carried, and it was 4-1. Oh, sorry?
Yeah, that's good.
4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carried.
I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for being patient
Thank
and clarifications.
you for being patient as well. Have a good day.
And we've been patient too.
Okay. Mike D.
We'll see what the commissioners say.
Yeah, we'll see what they say, yeah, yeah.
Right.
It'll go over their head, trust me, it'll go over their head. They won't, they won't see what Mike saw. But you're right, it's right there, hey, proposed uses conformity with the code. We need to change the code.
Well, that's,
And we're still working on that, right? Okay, good.
That's a big task.
Oh, it's huge, huge. And I
I
look at
won
it.
a golf tournament today.
Oh, you won a golf tournament. You brought-
High school.
Oh, really?
That's our first one.
Oh,
Durango won the tournament, unfortunately.
school's already started?
School starts Monday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
CHASA allows us to start practicing August 5th. Have to have 3 practices. I have first tournament today.
Good for you. Okay, moving forward, can we have roll call now?
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Neergard,
Here.
Commissioner Lynch,
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong,
here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Okay, number 5. Notice is hereby given, Montezuma County Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing for the purposes of reviewing and determining recommendations to be made to the Board of County Commissioners regarding a proposed amendment to Lot 9 of the Summit Lake West Unit 2 subdivision for AR 35 plus rezoning application planned unit development application and special use permit application. Did we just do one of those? Yeah. Submitted by Dennis and Laura Williams on property located at 35490 Road P6, Mancos, consisting of 40.20 acres more or less, located south of Highway 184, west of 35.6, situated in Section 33, Township 37 North, Range 14 West of the New Mexico Prime Meridian. This is a public hearing. Was a public notice published?
Yes, sir.
Was evidence of letters to the adjoining neighbors and mineral owners submitted?
Yes, sir.
Was the sign posted?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the applicants are here. Planned findings, department.
The applicants propose to create a general plan unit development to place 2 additional family residences on the family farm. They will be combining resources, which is water, power, roads, lake access, and open space for the family, and keep the land intact and not require easements. The daughter will be adding one of the 2 residences and another location for their son to live while working on the property for a new orchard and to move to in the future. The surrounding properties consist of residential and agricultural uses. The current access for the rental house up in the northwest corner is accessed off of 184. The main residence, which is down in the southwest corner, is accessed off of P6. The proposed new residences will also access P.6. All of the utility infrastructure is already in place. The applicants have indicated they have 2 additional water taps from Montezuma Water Company for the 2 proposed residences. And basically that's it.
Okay. You have anything else to add to that? No, got it covered, huh?
Sums it up. If you have any questions.
Okay.
And just to clarify on the rezoning, this is a subdivision lot, but the southwest corner, 5 acres was added, and it was never rezoned. So part of the rezoning would just to, it's not the original subdivision lot, it would just be to cover the AR 35 plus zoning, excuse me.
So the little tail is what you said?
Yeah,
added
correct.
to the property, okay.
So it's actually 40 acres now.
Okay. Okay, any discussion, gentlemen? Questions? I have a few. And again, Jane just alluded to that the rental home comes off of Highway 184. Everything else comes off of P6, okay? So there's going to be a total of 4 separate septic systems,
Yes.
okay?
Including the rental, yes.
Okay, and there's water for all the properties.
Yes.
Okay, so as it sits right now, Don, it is in compliance with the main home and the rental, two dwellings.
Correct.
Okay?
Mhm.
So we're adding 2 more residents to the property, but not creating any parcels.
Not subdividing, that's correct.
Okay. That's the questions I had. Anybody else?
Maybe not zone that out 5 into the 40, 35 to make it 40, then it would have been to qualify for
Okay, could you speak into the microphone, please? Bring that microphone closer, speak.
You'll need to turn that on.
Yeah, hit the button.
4. Is it on?
It should light up. Okay, now we're talking.
Anyway,
Now speaking to it.
I'm a trustee in the property adjacent to that, to your left on the drawing. And that 5 acres was part of that. The county agreed to let me sell it to my 40 to clean up Dad's trust, my 35, to make it 40.
40.
Had we known they were gonna rezone without us knowing, we probably would have thought about it earlier, but this has always been our plan.
Sir?
I don't want to subdivide it and keep it in the family.
Okay.
Okay, again, bring that microphone closer to you.
Yeah.
Bring it closer.
This has always been the plan, we don't want to subdivide it, we want to keep it in the family. But we need, for right now, her house to have the septic, and then we have a pond that's kind of a family farm. And we want to probably put a little support building in that for now, is all we want to do. And it's not on the pond, but close to it, because we have our other kids come down and help with it, harvesting and planting, and it's all on solar, so, you know, really no impact. And the driveway is split up, there's no easements involved.
Mhm.
Everything has water and power on it already.
The people that are on it now are the same ones.
Same people.
Okay.
We just got into this snag because the health department wouldn't let us have septic, because you already have two.
What I'm looking at is one. There's a house here, no, it's water tap. Where's the house? Proposed house, here. So you could bring the property line here. I'm just looking at, if it did end up splitting into a subdivision, how difficult would it be to
Oh.
get those lot lines in there?
Yeah.
You know, that's all I was looking at.
It would be pretty easy.
You
if we
could
wanted
split
to.
it in half, or
Yeah.
you could split it in quarters.
In quarters,
easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you could do that, and then just leave this one all by itself.
Yeah, you could have.
Okay, I mean, not that you're gonna do it, I just was looking.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
So what part of the land use code states that you can have 4 properties on one? I thought we could only do 2.
That's why they're applying for the planned unit development, but for the higher impact of more residences on the property.
So the PUD is a way to override the maximum of 2.
Right.
We're doing more density.
And this is a GPUD. I mean, they've got the rental house as part of the business operation along with the residences. And whatever they're doing with the rest of the property as far as ag lands or orchards or gardening.
Pretty much what it is gardening, we'll have some fruit trees on
We got a water share, we got a permitted pond,
And we have 2
2 fire plugs, one at the old rental house and one new
on
one.
Highway 184 and one on our property.
Okay.
And when they cleared Turkey Creek recently, the water company did, they made a big mess of all the trees, so we'll be in the process of that for a while, making firewood. But we have a central boiler at the old house that uses all that wood, so we just neatly stack it in the clearing and use it up.
We have wood room.
Okay.
Stacking.
Okay, we have no discussion. Do we have any public comment? We only have one other gentleman, and I think he's part of your gang. so-
Last man standing.
Last man standing. Okay, so we have no public comment, then we'll bring it back to us, and I will entertain a motion.
So before the motion, I was curious, is it a concern for anybody else that the land use code allows you to use a PUD to override the 2 residence maximum?
That's the
Well, that's what
purpose.
he's doing.
Yep.
The purpose of the,
Yeah,
of
that's
That's the
what he's
purpose
doing.
of the PUD.
of the PUD.
Yeah.
And we know that you can have 2.
And I have-
No, you can have 2. And the land use code would allow more than 2 via the PUD.
Yeah, I understand that, and so, as it's written, I have no written basis to say I can't vote for that. So I'm gonna vote for it because it's in the land use code. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
It seems like there's a potential for more discussion in our other
Other
I agree.
project.
Other
I agree.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. That may be,
Yeah.
that's the purpose of us.
Okay,
going through
that's all I wanted to.
it. For the record, right, for the
He's
record.
creating a record.
Okay. back to business. We have a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to approve a proposed amendment to Lot 9 of the Summit Lake West Unit 2 subdivision for AR 35+ rezoning application, planned unit development application, and special use permit application submitted by Dennis and Laura Williams based on the following. The proposed use is in conformity with the code. The proposed use shall not generate any significant adverse impacts on other property in the area, and public utilities and services are available or can be made available to support uses consistent with the proposed zoning. Or I have no conditions.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Aye.
Commissioner Neergard,
Aye.
Commissioner Lynch,
Aye.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Aye.
Commissioner Doyle.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carried. It was unanimous. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm trying not to make too much noise.
Okay, can we have roll call done?
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Neergard,
Here.
Commissioner Lynch,
Here.
Commissioner Armstrong,
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Okay. Do we have additional discussion?
So we didn't, but now we do.
But Okay.
I'll bring this up again. And yeah, we did have to run this by legal. So the Derrick's cluster incentive PUD, per the land use code, is not where you subdivide the property. The cluster incentive PUD is you cluster the residences in one corner and guarantee that 75% will remain ag, open, vacant, or open
Open space.
space. But because this was actually a 3-lot subdivision, but it went through and approved and passed as a cluster incentive PUD, we couldn't change that because it sits as it is. So that's why we just did an amendment to it. I wanted to fix it, but we can't fix it.
So that's my question. Just because it was done, I'm thinking, doesn't give it the right to be grandfathered in. If a new application is made for a parcel, then that application, shouldn't it have to clean up everything that's happened up until then and bring it into code?
That was my intent, but that's because these were created that way. We can't go back and say, no, you can't have your separate parcel that you already are deeded and
Especially when
owned.
one of them is sold to another person.
And we really couldn't say, no, now you're in a subdivision, because that was not what was approved. That's not how they were created. So we just, we continued just to amend. We didn't create new lots, take away it's 3 lots, it's 3 lots. It's just the configuration, but technically, yeah, that should have been a subdivision.
Yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
Ian wouldn't let me fix it.
Oh. Well, that settles it right there.
I was under the same path to
I mean-
let's clean it up and.
Yeah,
but-
so what I'm,
But because it was created this way, we can't go back and modify how it was created, because these are owned parcels under that legal description, under that approval, and we can't vacate it and then start over with a blank slate. And
I could understand that if there were different owners,
Right.
Lot 2 does have a different owner.
but, so.
And it's all,
included-
it's a,
oh, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
total.
Yeah, okay.
We can't leave out
Yeah.
Lot 2. It's not a part, with the modification, it is a part of the CIPUD.
Yeah.
I also found another one that's 70 acres, standalone, and a 1 acre corner, it's under the same name as a CIPUD. They created a 1 acre as if it was part of the 70, and that doesn't fit either, but it happened. So the cluster incentive is you get, the houses all stay on one parcel. You guarantee a minimum of 75% open space to be used by those residences.
And the,
Right.
and the residences are in one space, not like this.
Not jet thrown all over.
No, they're in one space.
Yeah. And then to expand on that, for every additional residence, you're supposed to add an additional 35 acres.
Yeah.
So to go to 4, you'd be at 70 acres.
Yeah. Thanks for that discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a whole, and
It's clear as mud.
well, yeah, I mean, there is, I understand the logic, because it goes back to the old farms. Everybody lives on the farm, and all the kids want their own house, because now they're in their 30s and they have their own families, but everybody's farming the same 100 acres. So, 4 houses, 5 houses. So I'm just speculating that that's what it derived from.
Okay, but does that really fit to today's standard?
But, yeah, now
To
it's,
today's standard, the kids want to get the heck out of Dodge.
yeah, now the kids leave and won't farm, so I don't know what you have.
Yeah, so, okay.
But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, because if you're thinking about it, you're right. This really isn't a cluster incentive PUD, but we had to continue with that, and that's what it is. I even tried to make it a subdivision named a cluster incentive PUD. But the problem with that is you're not supposed to name something that it's not. And we ran into that where we've had a compound named as a campground, and there's no campsites. It's not a campground, so technically you don't want to muddy the waters with names of stuff that isn't what it is. But anyway, I had the same approach to change all that, but legally that would have been a problem.
So I have a different discussion.
Okay.
We had a lost opportunity, I think, at our was it the last meeting that we didn't have? The attorney promised us additional training.
Right.
And we lost the opportunity to bring him in. But in the future, if for some reason all but one or something doesn't work out for the meeting, perhaps you could add him to the agenda, because he said he had everything already prepared.
Right.
And it was his favorite part, so I'm ready to hear it when that happens.
Pull the plug.
Yeah, his favorite part has been pushed to the back burner. He's buried in other cases now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's a good point, and I will ask him, because he may want that as an outlet versus dealing with
Now he's a judge.
bigger firms with 20 people, and he's one.
Okay,
But that's,
if we have nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn. Someone? Anybody? Me? Anybody?
I guess I just have a quick question, like, what is our intention to proceed with this potential conversation around land use code updates and things like that?
Well, at some point, I think we should, because, I mean, I've seen you mark up, and I know Mike's marking up, and I'm guessing we all are at some point. How far along we are, I'm not sure, but we should.
I have a suggestion. I'd like to suggest that we attack the easiest one first, and to me, that's the corrections, because a lot of them are really easy to spot. Some of them are more difficult, but they're just corrections. We know there's an error there that needs to
Text,
be
whatever.
fixed, and just as you're reading through, if you can make note of what you think is an error, and then we'll come together with our lists, or as they get generated, we'll either add or whatever, and then discuss those and say, yeah, that is, and no, that's not, or whatever. And just start with the corrections.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah, it sounds good. I guess the question is, do we do it like as part of like a discussion after public hearing, or do we just have a separate meeting that we notice the public
Probably be
on?
best just to do it at the end of a meeting like now.
Just take a certain portion of it.
Okay.
A couple of, okay, we're gonna do 5 pages of this, and then do it that way.
Yeah.
Anytime you guys meet outside this meeting, I have to
Post.
post notice.
Right, that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
do we want to do something outside of this?
Anytime you guys meet 3 or more, I have to public notice it in the newspaper
All right.
and
But,
online.
yeah, but you guys could, everybody send me your list, and I can compile it and send it back to you, and everybody can review it. And, I mean, if everybody, you know, takes their top 10 or whatever, but I mean, if it's, like Mike says, if it's, and we did this before, it referenced statutes that don't exist now, so that's not helpful to anybody. Our previous attorney let us just do it administratively, but we probably would have to do it through a public meeting, so we would probably want to combine it with some other top 3 items, but just to
Okay.
keep that in mind. But there's nothing wrong with, cleaning up references to the wrong chapter, wrong section that doesn't exist anymore, or a statute that's been abolished. So yeah, that's definitely a good starting place.
Okay.
I like that.
So well, let's plan on then our next, but I won't be here the next meeting. Or may not be here the next meeting, so.
You can always go and phone me.
Yeah, can do it on, I could do Zoom. It can be on it that way. Take the first 10 pages, whatever.
Okay.
5 pages, 10 pages, section, whatever we agree to. I mean, I'm all for doing it online, because I can, cut a page out, put my comments on it, and then send the page to you, so I can do that.
I think that'd probably be the easiest for all of us. It'd probably be best.
If we, just use a corrected on a PDF
Just
file.
correct it,
Yeah.
send it to,
Mm-hmm.
make our comments and stuff, and send it to Don.
Yeah, and just send the pages that you're correcting. You don't have to, have them stuffed within the whole 80 pages of the code. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could take the code and just break out the pages. Just break them out and do it that way. Okay, well,
Let's take a shot at it.
okay, good plan.
Don't make the motion on the adjourn.
Thank you, Ted.
Second?
Somebody.
I'll second.
So does anybody want to go? All in favor?
Aye, aye, aye.
All right.